Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Tottenham on Tour. On today's show, Ange Postecoglou delighted with Dominic Solanke, the king. Will Lankshear is in the squad for the next season, and Tottenham want wingers. Tune in here. Welcome back to Tottenham on Tour, your world-famous morning news, brews and clues show with myself, the Cough, and the Roadman, Mr. David. The Brews brothers are back 2 days in a row. What's happening, Dave?
Tired, mate. Very tired. In agony. Muscles hurting from lifting big bloody pavement slabs and stuff. So yeah, fun day.
And still nothing to compare to supporting Tottenham. But today the Premier League is back. The Premier League is back. Manchester United are kicking off at 8 p.m. tonight. How dare they play a football match during the fan show? How dare they? Unacceptable.
Yeah,
Unacceptable. Yeah. But let's see who's in the audience to take us through the show this morning. We've got a few bits of news to talk about. We got Adiz Ahmed. Good to see you, Adiz. I don't think this is happening, Adiz. I don't think this is happening, but I'm going to star it just in case. We have a Nearban, another Chelsea. We have a Chelsea fan saying, hoping to get Philly and Osherman news soon. Felix, not Philly. It's Felix. Felix, if you really want to be that touchy over names, yeah, I don't know. He's talking about Pedro Neto. We're going to talk about wingers. We got Yogi Bear. Good to see. He's just an average bear. So Chelsea trying to get 116 charges and do better than Manchester City at something. Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, I think so. The amount of players they're buying. We have Scott Colliver, YouTube member. Good to see. Chelsea have bought quite a few players, but they have also sold quite a few players. They have indeed. They have. We have Gabriel One. Good to see her. Big up, boys. Can't wait till Monday. Come on, you Spurs. Absolutely. I really don't care at this rate. We got Rinketic saying, what up? Good to see you, Rinketic. Good to see you, mate. YouTube member. Andrew Gregory, YouTube member. Morning, Ben and David. Hope everyone is well. I'm good, mate. I'm good. We have Chris Agenbar, the number one Agenbar in the world. Good to see her. Good to see her. We have Marcus Hewitt saying, morning, Ben and Dave. Our season is about to start. Come on, you Spurs. Absolutely, mate. We have Nick's in the house. Well done to Nick for appearing on a Thursday show and not burning the place down. It was great. I couldn't believe seeing Nick on a Thursday night. It was unbelievable.
But I know, it was great.
Good to see you, Nick. Alfie Hall's in the house and Premier League is back. Yes, it is. Shem Tang is in the building. YouTube member. We have Fran, the YouTube member. Colin Cross. Borada. Good to see Shawnee Slater. Or as I'm now calling him, Mr. Showtime. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. YouTube member. We have the Sheriffs in the house. Good morning, Ben. I'm still on full alert, although I won't be faster than Ben. It is what it is. We have Kate Rixham's in the house. Good to see her. Good to see her. Tweaky, YouTube member. Good to see her, Tweaky. Poch is coming to America. I feel good. Good to see you, Medic Greg. YouTube member. Christian Knutson is in the house. And Colin's talking about Chelsea need to get rid of 4 players to comply with the rules. Let's talk about the first beat in Tottenham news. Ange Postecoglou is delighted with Dominic Solanke coming into the football club. Apparently, this deal was initiated at the end of June, but that's when Ange really said, this is the guy I want to sign. And he's very, very happy that he's got his main target for his team over the line. Well, it's as much as I might be, doubtful of all involved. It's good to see a manager getting the player they want instead of a player that might not necessarily we might prefer an Ivan Toney. I like an Ivan Toney, but it's good to see the manager getting the player he wants for a price rather than saying, "Oh, you're getting this because you're getting this." So that's good news, isn't it, Dave?
Yeah, it is. It is really good news, and the way he's talking about him, it really does genuinely sound like this was the player he wanted. It really did sound like that. The other ones we signed, obviously Youngmin Hook and Archie Gray. Apparently, Archie Gray wasn't even on the radar. According to reports, Archie Gray wasn't even on the radar. But
Yeah.
when obviously Brentford, I think it was, came in and wanted to get him, that's when obviously Tottenham were like, well, hold on a minute, that's fallen through. Let's take an opportunity. So
Yeah.
we can say Archie Gray wasn't exactly one.
We were able to get a young player on the books who will become academy trained because he's 18, and by the time he's 21, because he will be a youth player for 3 years, he will be class as academy track. If that's the way I think it works, Archie Gray in 3 years will be an academy trained player. So of course that has a bit more of a ring to it. Of course, a lot of Leeds fans will probably be very upset that we just bought him just because we're a big club. You can buy him just for the sake of buying him. And I know Leeds fans are very upset at the moment with the way their club's running and the way they're doing things. But it's interesting, isn't it, that apparently two of the signings are not his, but the main guy he wanted, he got. So that's good news. That is as much.
Oh yeah.
Not like Solanke. I'm calling him Solan-King. He is the king of us all. Just because we didn't choose the king doesn't mean he isn't our king. So it's good news, isn't it, Dave?
Yeah. Like I was saying, mate, at the end of the day, if the report's suggesting that Ange generally wanted him, yeah, they had a big list of players. Solanke was the one that kind of fit all data, all criteria for the player Ange wanted up front.
Yeah.
A lot of fans moaned at the price we paid for him. Isn't that what we've been moaning about for years? Is saying that when a manager wants a player, you go and buy him.
Yeah. We've complained about that as Tottenham fans. We've complained about that as Tottenham fans. A lot of Tottenham fans over the years saying, if Conte wants him, I want him. If he wants him, I want him. But for this manager, as much, again, I'm playing devil's advocate of me not necessarily being the biggest fan of him. He's wanted this player and he's got this player. So so it's another reason for someone that might doubt Ange to say, you have been backed. You've asked for this player and you've been given this player. You've got no complaints. There are no rules, is there?
No, that's it. And if he fails, like say Solanke just doesn't get the goals we hope he gets in this team, well, that's on Ange then, because this is the player he wanted. It wasn't Levy's player, wasn't Lange's player, wasn't anyone else's. It was his. He's been more enthusiastic about Solanke than any other player that we signed. I mean, and that's what we want. We want that. But my issue with this is, right, Levy's given him the player he wants, spent a large amount of money on him.
Yeah.
Are you worried now that that's why Levy's not focusing on the rest of the positions we desperately need? Because it's like, well, I gave you the player you wanted. Oh, we'll work out the rest if we can. If we can't, it doesn't matter. You got your one player.
This is Daniel Levy's Tottenham, isn't it? This is Daniel Levy's Tottenham. And yes, I do know for the sort of the people to say not every manager gets the players that they want. This is Levy's Tottenham. No manager at Tottenham gets the players he wants. So it's nice that he wanted this player and he's got this player. And Colin Cross has got a good argument. Ange wanted him like he wanted Brennan Johnson. How long would it take for our toxic fans to turn on Solanke like they turned on Brennan? It's. I don't want to call fans toxic because it's not my prerogative to call all fans toxic. I get why people don't rate Brennan Johnson. Wouldn't necessarily say I rate Brennan Johnson, but I think we've set Brennan Johnson up to fail by bringing him so late, and it's possible we can do the same thing with Solanke, bringing him this late into the window. But luckily, he's had a couple of games in pre-season under his belt, at least playing a progressive style. It's not like he's going from pragmatic style football to progressive style football. He's been playing progressive style football. He just needs to make a little tweaks to fit in this particular way, right, Dave?
Yeah, definitely. And I think the way we play will fit him really, really well, especially with them low balls coming into the box. And on set pieces, he's not the best in the air, but he's still tall. And defensively as well, I think he can actually help us. You know what I mean? So it's an all right signing. It looks like Richarlison's staying as well. So we have options. And we're going to talk about an extra option soon, which I'm not going to mention now, but we're starting to get options, yeah? And isn't it nice to say that we have options up front, whether we like them or not, whether we whether we believe they're the right player for us. To Ange, they are. So it's nice to know that we have them options for a change, that we can chop and change, because one of the biggest things Ange was looking for with this striker was being able to last and be fit for a season. Well, that's Solanke. He barely ever missed a game. I don't think he missed a game all season last season.
But remember, Dave, this is the Spurs medical team. This is the Spurs.
Oh, no, he's left though, hasn't he? He's the main guy's left.
Yeah, still most of them are there, but the main guy, the sports scientist, has left. And of course, I opened a bottle of champagne to celebrate this guy leaving. He was there for well too long. But hopefully, with new people at the helm, maybe they can sort a lot of our issues out this year, because it's been a massive problem for us. It's been a massive problem for us, which is why we are talking about bringing a lot of these young kids in, because we desperately need them. And we'll get on to it. But final thoughts on this particular topic, Dave?
Looking forward to it. I was with you, Ben, at the beginning. I was dubious about it. Sat down with Daigle, had a chat and everything. You know what I mean? Looking at things, and you know what can we do? He's signed. There's no point crapping on him now and not actually looking for the season. And like I said last year, Ben, didn't I? Well, not last year, but for last season, when we sign players, I give them a year. When they first signed, I gave them a year, see what they're like. Brennan Johnson's had this year. So now if he's bad, I'll be critical of him.
Yeah.
Same as Ange, he's had his year. So they get a year. Let's see what he can do. Get behind him. Let's see what he can do.
It's it's one of the reasons. One of the reasons, like, for example, if you go the other way on Timo Werner, I totally understand it, because he's had half a season and he was dreadful for most of it. Yes, I think he had something like 8 to 9 goal contributions in all competitions. I think it was like 4 goals and 5 assists, something like that in half a season, which numbers-wise, you think, you know what? Half a season, if he plays an entire season and he got 18 goal contributions, that's not dreadful. But this is, of course, football, where the eye test is important as well. Stats are a brilliant thing, and we all love stat. Well, I don't. I hate stats. The only stat I care about is the score at the end of the game. I'm a traditionalist. But let's see. I don't like Timo Werner. The eye test doesn't match up with the stats when he misses too many open goals. And before we go on to the halftime team talk, as we're now calling it, we're coming up to it. I do want to give a team. I don't want to say Timo is a good footballer. He's not. He's a terrible footballer. But there's one thing you shouldn't do. You shouldn't bother football players when they're out. It's not acceptable. You wouldn't we're not celebrities. So we're crappy YouTubers on an amateur platform. If someone came up to us watching the stream and recognized us and gave us a load of grief, we wouldn't like it. So try and do the same thing for footballers. Yes, they're earning silly money a week, but they're still human beings. Right, halftime team talk, Dave.
Yeah, it is the halftime team talk. So please like and subscribe. The channel is going amazingly. We're trying to hit at least 9,000 to 10,000 subscribers. We're getting there slowly. It's doing really, really well. And also, just quickly, the fantasy football team that Sean Slater kindly set up for us, it starts today. So if you haven't, try and get into it now. And we'll be giving you updates during certain streams and things, letting people know, you know what I mean, how many points of who's winning and things like that. But yeah, Sean has done amazing with it. We've got about 40 to 50 in there, which is incredible. So yeah, it's going really well. So we're going to look forward to that. So for the season, we'll get you, give everyone details of who's in the fantasy football. So yeah, like and subscribe, please. On the chat, you guys are insane.
Absolutely. Thank you for all the support from me. We had yesterday. Sean Slater's got the code. Nick, we had yesterday. We had a bit of a nasty individual in our chat. So to thank you to all the positive vibes from the rest of it, the Ontorian community, as we like to call them. Thank you to everyone to being part of the community and showing Daigle and the rest of us all a massive amount of love, and it really helps us out a lot. On to the next bit of news. Will Lankshear is in the squad for next season. He is not going out on loan, unlike someone like Donnelly, who, of course, we're upset Donnelly's going out on loan because Sean loves Donnelly. So What's your view on Lankshear staying in the squad, being with the likes of Richarlison and now Solanke and, of course, Son Heung-min as well? We saw him at the Bayern game. He was in absolute awe of probably his hero, Harry. That sideline, he was supposed to be getting ready for the game. He was supposed to be getting ready for the game, but no, he wanted to hug Harry Kane. I mean, that was his hero. So I really like this kid, and hopefully he does well, right, Dave?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, going to what you talk about there, that sideline bit, mate, past and the present, you know, it just so fitting, and it was so lovely that it pretty much came on at the same time. I'm so happy that he's getting to stay within the squad.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you need these type of players around because not only do they give you an extra body, yeah, he also allows you to have that rotation. He
Yeah.
allows you because he's not a bad player. He's young, he's inexperienced, he's naive at times.
He's raw. He's a raw
Raw, he's
talent.
raw. But that's why you keep him there. That's why you have him around the squad. You have the Solankes, the Richarlisons, the Sons working with him. Because and we also know that Mikey Moore's staying.
Yeah.
Right? You know
we
what I mean?
have to stay because he's too young.
Yeah.
He's too young to go out on loan.
But I'm on about he's being a part of the first team, staying in within the first team,
which is great as well. He's got to be both. Anyone that's got anything about them needs to be part of that first team because they've won stuff. So they've got a winning mentality. Unlike a lot of the senior players, they're going to be like, I know they're going to be kids, and I think. I mean, I've had this in my career when I was 16, going into a coffee bar, really trying to be enthusiastic and people be like, "Why is this? What's he doing?" But that infectious personality of them wanting to win stuff and them wanting to train and work harder, that will rub off on the. And I think having Mikey Moore and Will Lankshear will be really great for one particular player, and that's going to be Archie Gray because he's going to be with players his same age. Yes, he's going to be slightly above them in terms of development because he's played in the Championship for a year, mostly at right back, but he's played in the Championship. But it's going to be really good to have those young players that and the senior players that are going to rub off on him, and it's going to be creating like a little community around them. So I think it's a really good move. It'd be a flip flop to say it's not a good move.
Yeah, definitely. And even like a Bergval and that. And we know obviously Donnelly's gone out on loan, which I was gutted to because I was hoping he'd stay. Divine's looking to move out on loan. But this also gives the younger ones who are sitting in the wings, who are sitting in the under 21s, under 18s, under 17s, they're seeing a pathway. They're getting to see a pathway now because Mikey Moore performed extremely well, unbelievable. He's got his position. Yeah, but that's what I mean. He's got his position.
Context, right? It's in context.
In context, yeah. But I'm sure if you need to be told that why he's there, then you know what I mean. That's on you. But Lankshear, he performed really well in preseason. Like he tried. Now, there's nothing wrong with having him on that bench. Where say if Solanke's been on, where Charlie's injured or something, yeah, and you need to throw him on with 10 minutes to go. You give him one chance, he could get a goal because he's going to have the energy. He's going to have the determination. He's going to have that
hunger.
I want to perform. Hunger, that's the word. Perfect word. He wants that hunger to go and perform.
Yeah. It's I really like it. I really like it. How much do my particular season ticket cost £2,400 this season. That's and it's not club level.
To be depressed. Yeah. £2,000 to be depressed.
That's where I am. So yeah, it depends where Nick says he plays 1,300. It depends where you sit in the stadium. I've got a really good seat on the halfway line, but I'm not in like a hospitality area. So for me, it's still a bit too much because the similar ticket at White Hart Lane was £1,200. It's gone. It's doubled. It's doubled in. So I'm annoyed because the football hasn't necessarily got better. But this is just the way it is. Property prices have gone up. Fuel prices have gone up. Building prices have gone up. It's just the way it is. Yeah. And on the last piece of news, we're going to go for 10 minutes on this one. Tottenham Hotspur are desperately looking for wingers, according to Paul O'Keefe. The club are actually very upset that they didn't get Pedro Neto over the line. They thought that this deal was going over the line, and they hope they hoped that they would be able to get Ollie Skip, of course, out to Wolves as part of the deal. But of course, Neto's gone to Chelsea's treatment table. He'd probably been on our treatment table as well. But this is a good sign that at least they're going for someone that, because we've given a lot of support to Brennan Johnson's in particular on this channel, and I love Sonny. I still will back Sonny till the absolute until the end of his Spurs career. I still think he's got an absolutely amazing amount to play as the captain and as the leader of the team. But we need more wingers, don't we? We absolutely need more wingers. Our wingers are very average. Very average.
Yeah, I agree. And the fact that we're looking for a right winger tells me as well that he does not want Kulusevski on that wing anymore. He wants to use him more in the centre. I mean, when like the Neto deal, yeah, right? This is what annoys me. We wanted Neto, but we went down the same route as we do every window. Even though we've got a new director of football, we've gone down that same route, which is we try and do these weird deals. We try to offload Skip to them. And they were like, no, we don't want Skip. Okay, then well, let's take another week and figure out what else we can mess about with. Chelsea come in, go, here's the money, did sound.
Yeah.
Why can they do that consistently with every player they buy? They're just constantly buying.
They're cheating.
Well, yeah, I know that, but do you understand what I mean?
Not that they're cheating, but what they're doing is they're stretching the rules. Cheating, I'm going to retract the statement of cheating. They are stretching the rules beyond belief using the idea of having ultra-long contracts, which is why Cole Palmer is now on a 9-year contract. 9-year contract! Back in my day, I'm sounding old, back in my day, the maximum a contract was 3-4 years, and now it's 9 years. So they're obviously stretching, so that what they're doing on the books, it says they're paying little by little over that 9 years, rather than having that big burst of money go on their book.
One thing on that, mate. Sorry, just not to correct you there, though, but they're only allowed to pay up to 5 years now, aren't they? Because the rules changed. So on
the rules have changed, but still, they're still stretching it out, and then
they're stretching. They're stretching out. But what I mean is that they have to pay up. So yeah, sorry, you are right. But any new players they get, they have to pay that value up in 5 years.
Yeah,
that's there. And then once the
what they can do is they can devalue the player. They can devalue the player after that time. So they're saying, well, no, the player is worth this now, so because of his age and whatnot. So now we're going to pay this. That's what they're doing. That's what they're intentionally doing.
Yeah, and for me, if we wanted Neto so badly, and apparently the club and everyone was gutted about it, including Ange.
Yeah.
Well, then you just go and buy
put a proper bid in for him. You should have tried to make. Wolves will make a deal. There's a couple of Wolves fans that we got Wolves FI, and obviously we've got Ryan G that supports the channel all the time. Really good bloke. Wolves will do a deal. Wolves have already said that. Well, Wolves did say if Pedro Neto wants to go, we won't stand in his way. But you've got to give us a deal. And the problem with Tottenham is we make every single deal a war. It's a war. There's no in the real world when you do a business deal, both parties have to be satisfied. In Tottenham's business world, it's the opposite, where we've got to be satisfied and we've got to drag the other team through the mud. So teams won't deal with it anymore, will they, Dave?
No, they get, especially with the PSR issues and things like that nowadays. Teams are not interested in waiting ages to get their money in. Like, don't get me wrong, when you're looking outside of the Premier League, that's fair enough. You know what I mean? They can wait because the value of their leagues are not as high as the Premier League. They're not as stringent, or, you know what I mean? They're not at risk half the time. With the Premier League, clubs now, especially like the lower of the table, they're sitting there going, well, hold on a minute. I'm struggling with PSR. I've got to mess about with this. I can't bring the players I want. And yet you want me to wait 5 years to get 20, 30, 40, 50 million. No. I want it now, today. I want that 50 million in my bank.
We need the money. It's that.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the same with Palace. You know what I mean? They want the money up front. They want the money for Gahey. Newcastle have been constantly trying.
Yeah.
They're saying to him, look, we want the money. You want the player. Give me the money today and you can have the player. I'm not waiting 5-6 years. I want a big chunk of it now so I can deal with PSR because it looks good on the books. and I can bring players in then without having to affect my PSL.
At the end of the day, Dave, don't they? A lot of the clubs in the Steve Parish is the perfect example why he's doing this. He is not as good as generating money as ENIC is, but he wants to do what ENIC have done with Crystal Palace. And that's what he wants to do. And if he's going to want to do that, he needs the money now. He doesn't need the money in 5 years. He wants the money now so he can invest in his infrastructure around Crystal Palace and make Crystal Palace what's it called? A better outfit for hotels and restaurants, to make the area better, and gentrification, whatever you want to call it, whatever buzzword you want to call it. He's not waiting 5 years. Steve Parish is also a businessman. You don't ask for money in 5 years. You need it now-ish. You need to have a big chunk of it up front, and then we work out a deal. So it's just that war. Again, it's that war of Levy trying to do a war with everyone.
Yeah, he's the thing is with Levy, he's still living in the past times where you could sit down for an entire week negotiating a player, what have you, do you know what I mean, and get deals and everything. Nowadays, teams don't want to lose their players now for such cheap prices.
Or they need to replace them. They need to do the deal quickly so they can replace them.
Yeah, Bournemouth were annoyed that we bought Solanke so late. We were building this deal up for months and weeks, whatever. Then we decide a couple of weeks before the game starts, we decide to go and get him. And it's like, this is it nowadays. You've got to get your business done early. If we bring in a winger now, it's going to be the same as Johnson. He's not going to hit the ground running. Yeah. We bring in a midfielder now that apparently won, because 2 more players are meant to come in, a winger and a midfielder. Again, we're in the position where they're coming in late. And this is all down to Lange, Levy, and Scott Mann.
McKenzie, Scott Mann. They're all culpable for it. All culpable for it. I'm not going to give Levy all the blame, because this is what Levy does. He puts people in the firing line. He puts people in. So why is Lang not doing his job? Why is McKenzie not doing his job? Why is Mann not doing his job? But at the end of the day, he's put them there for that sole purpose. They've all got to have a piece of the pie when it comes to the blame here. And the manager has said, I want my players in early. And you failed him. You failed an employee. When I was working as a barista at my other shop in Shoreditch, if we needed milk for tomorrow and the 2 people working in the morning couldn't order milk and I didn't order the milk, it's not their fault. It's my fault. I didn't order the milk. So order the bloody milk, Tottenham.
Yeah, bring in the milk. But this is the issue, there's some positives. We got to give it. There is some positive out this window, yeah? Archie Gray looks an incredible player, yeah, right? Again, raw, still got in context, he looks an incredible player. Bergvall, again, in context, looks an incredible player. Solanke, in context, could be really good. And hopefully he does. We don't want him to be bad. We want him to be amazing. But the Prem starts tonight.
Yeah, and
we play on Monday.
Whether we like it or not, Dave, even though we've said in context these players look great, in the context of now, the squad is weaker. It is weaker. Yeah. Anyone that denies that is lying. The squad is weaker. The squad is weaker. Maybe in a year, when the players have bedded in and they've got into the system, maybe it will be stronger, because again, football is not black and white. It's very much a grey area. It's in the here and now.
Yeah.
Let's see where they are in a year. But at the moment, the squad is weaker than it was at the ending of last season, and that's just a fact for me. It's a fact.
Oh yeah, no, it really is weaker, mate. You're completely right. And again, if anyone tries to, say that it isn't, they're lying to themselves. Because if you started on Monday, right, the players, that would you'd say suggest the strongest of last season and this season, there's only one player that would be different, and that would be Solanke up front.
Yep.
How is that a big change within the team?
But then we've sold a lot of our squad players as well. Højbjerg is gone. Whether you liked him or not, Højbjerg was a great squad player. I'm not sad to see Højbjerg go. It was time for him to go. It was time for him to have pastures new. Emerson's gone. Yes, you might not like Emerson, of course, Nicola, but as a defensive cover, as a right back, he's not the worst. We've now replaced him with unproven talent. I really like Jed Spence. I've got it. I've said I like Jed Spence. I've watched 5 games with him playing, and I've been impressed in every single one of them. I mean,
Yes.
I like the guy. I like the kid, but in context, the team is weaker.
Yeah. Right. So the thing is, team's weaker. Yeah. Right. Adogi gets injured. Right. Who plays there?
Yeah.
Who plays there? Ben Davies. Right. Or you could put Mickey van der Ven there. But if you move Mickey van der Ven, you need to play to fill that position. Who is it? Ben Davies.
Yeah.
Right. How is Ben Davies still our backup to our left back
and our centre back?
Left centre back. How is he the only one there? This is why I
and
don't get how we're not
Donnelly as well, so we don't have that cover.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying before. Yeah, and then you move across the line. Yeah, Romero gets injured. We've got Dragusin. Yeah, okay, great. Porro and Romero get injured. We're gonna have to move Archie Gray into that right back position.
Yeah,
we've got Spence there. Spence can't play left back. I'm sorry. Unfortunately,
no,
I really enjoyed Spence, but when he played left back, he couldn't do it. He just looked out of sorts. Right back, I've been so impressed with him. So happy.
He looks like a good ball carrier. He's quick. He gets into
Ange
midfield.
likes him.
Yeah,
Ange likes him. Wants to keep him.
I was speaking with Graham, arm of Graham. He says he's one of the only players that can cross the ball in our team. He's one of the 2 players that can cross a football.
Yeah.
No, 3. Madison can cross the ball as well, but he's not in the position. Yeah. The players that are in positions to cross are usually Pedro Porro and Jed Spence.
Yeah.
Because Udogie is playing, for some reason, he's playing this role where he's not crossing the ball. So those 2 are the people that can cross the ball.
Yeah, I totally agree. They are the creative players. And I'd go so far as saying, mate, is bang Spence at right back and go put Porro on the wing. Give that a go. You know what I mean? But yeah, if you look at the team on Monday, right, I could probably call it now. And if I'm wrong, great. Monday, it'll be Vicario, Porro, Romero, Van der Ven, Udogie. In midfield, clearly, obviously, a certain someone decided to, go flying with some balloons. It's going to be Archie Gray, Madison, and Sarr. If not, Bentancur will be there.
I think Bentancur will start.
It'll be Bentancur,
Sarr, Madison.
Yeah, and then up front, it's going to be Son, Solanke, Brennan Johnson, probably, right?
Yeah.
Is that a team that's going to win you anything?
No.
It's not going to last a season. And when you turn your head to the bench, yes, we've got some little quality there. Lankshear, you've got Bergvall, you've got Mikey Moore. Them 3 are kids.
Yeah.
Context. They are kids. They will do a job. But over a season,
they are the people you send out when you've run out of milk. You send them to Tesco. You send them on a little job. You give them something little to do. You don't give them a big job like we. No. And this is a lot of the problem with Tottenham fans. Is we rate players too highly too quickly. We've already put a lot of these kids on a pedestal they can't live up to. They might be great footballers for the club, but they are not ready to be starting footballers for one of the 7 richest clubs on the planet. I'm sorry, you can call me negative, you can call me this, but in context, I'm correct, and everyone knows I'm correct. They are not. They don't put They need to grow up. They've got to do a lot of work to grow up as footballers.
Yeah, especially on the pitch. That's the thing. On the pitch, they need to grow up, because you've seen Gray, at centre back, right? We were all impressed with him. We were so happy with him. When he went midfield, even though he still had these little bits of talent,
he didn't look good enough. He looked like a deer in the headlights.
A lot of the time, he gave the ball away too easy.
Yeah.
And that's where the naivety comes. That's where that amateuristic side of him comes, because he's a kid.
Yeah.
Bergvall, don't get me wrong, he has been outstanding. Again, little things where he needs to learn on the pitch. He needs to move better. He needs to find better positions. Great talent, though. Loved him. This is not slating these players, just being realistic to the context around them. We have weakened the squad, and we can't expect these type of kids to be able to take us to that next level. Because if you put that pressure on them, what's going to happen?
Yeah. Tottenham fans will do what Tottenham fans do. They will flip their shit that they didn't live up to this hype that they've given themselves. Before we decide to answer we've got a couple of questions before we go. Yeah. I think this is only abroad. I think you can make as many loans on. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think you can loan young players to other clubs if you're loaning them to the UK, whereas players abroad, that counts to the 7. I think it's overseas players, from what I remember. No?
I have no idea.
I have no idea. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong, so I apologise in advance.
Well, if that's the case, we're already at the maximum. Dane Scollett can't go out on loan.
Got to sell him.
He's already out on loan, isn't he? Is Dane Scollett out on loan?
We did cock up last year.
Yeah, we did. Scollett's out on loan. Phillips, he hasn't gone anywhere yet, has he?
Yeah.
Phillips hasn't gone anywhere.
But yeah, we got a couple of questions. Have we finally broken Ange? The man that came to us is not the man I saw in his press conference about Basuma. I don't think I mean, how do I say this without sounding like a total asshole? At the end of the day, I mean, he knew what he was coming into with this football club. He knew what he was coming into. This is his first job at a top level. Whether you, which is probably really offensive to Celtic fans, but I don't care. They're the 16th best league in the world for a reason. This is his first job in a top 5 league. So he's learning on the job. He's now realising, going from Celtic, which is an enormous club. Celtic are an incredibly big club around the world because of reasons. They just are. They're a massive club around the world. Going from Celtic, a team that's a massive, like a blue whale in a kiddie pool, to Tottenham, where you're in the Premier League, the biggest league in the world, with the biggest names, the biggest managers, the biggest teams. He's learning a lesson, isn't he, Dave?
He is, yeah. And I agree with what Collins just put in the chat. Like, for me, he always valued, and when he signed for us and when he talked about signing players, he always values the quality of the player, not on the pitch, but also outside the pitch, right?
Yeah.
This one alone, where it's his biggest season now, because this is kind of make or break. If he has a bad season, Levy will sack him.
Yeah.
Right. So he wants to have the best season he can. Every manager does. They don't go in to fail, they go in to win.
Yeah.
What Bentancur did with all the situation that happened there, right? Ridiculous. Now you got Biss coming out and doing things like that. He's probably sitting there going, look, I gave you the platform. He said to Biss, you know what I mean? You would have been captain. You know?
He wanted him as one of his leadership groups.
Yeah, he did. And then he goes and does something like this. And it moves back to, obviously, other times. Jose Mourinho on Reguilon, yeah?
Yeah.
Right? He took him this big, expensive piece of ham, right? Because he had no family around or anything for Christmas. What did Reguilon go do? Go break the COVID rules and go to Lo Celso's house, I think it was, or something like that.
Yeah, he had a massive party.
Had a massive party. And it was kind of like, it was basically saying to Jose, yeah, right, I don't respect you. What Biss has done and what Bentancur done is the same kind of situation. It's like, I don't respect you. So there's two players now that need to regain his trust.
Yeah.
You know, and this is probably what it is. He's looking at it now as,
but it's just like, it's what's it called? He knows that he's probably not going to get a top job. And I don't want to say this as a slant at him. He's not going to get a job at Liverpool. He's too old for that job. And also Arne Slot's just taken that job. He's not going to get the job at Arsenal. Mikel Arteta is well and truly glued into that position as the Arsenal coach. He's not going to get a job at Manchester City because they'll go for a younger manager after Pep Guardiola decides to finally let the Premier League be the Premier League again instead of just turning it into a farmers league. He's not going to get the job at Aston Villa. Unai Emery's doing a fantastic job there. He's not going to get the job at Newcastle because they're very happy with Eddie Howe. He's not going to get one of these massive clubs. This is his one chance to manage a massive club, and these players are throwing him under the bus. So I don't think Levy has broken Ange. I think a lot of the players that Levy has bought are throwing him under the bus. But this is just the way Spurs is. It's the way it always has been.
Yeah, I mean, it's just annoying, you know what I mean? That, you know, these players like Biss always hyping himself up, always coming out, giving it everything like that, and goes do something stupid like that. Bentancur, you know what I mean? Obviously, that's been all sorted, yeah. Sonny's, you know what I mean, accepted the apology, all that, and we've seen him in pre-season, which is still a good thing as well, knowing that he's, you know what I mean, that there isn't still going on behind the scenes. But if we're using youth within this team,
yeah,
we need decent influences around them. But it's not just that. You need influences for everyone. Sonny is probably the best influence for kids. We've seen a video come out of him hugging Archie Gray and stuff like that. We need to just concentrate on the football now. When the players hit that pitch, 110% from the whistle blows to the whistle blows.
Yeah.
That's it. If we have a bad season, I just don't think Spurs are ever going to have anything at all. We can't keep doing this. Do you know what I mean? It's just getting annoying as hell. I'm just getting to the point where it's annoying.
Yeah, as what's it called? He would get another job, but not in the Premier League. Maybe in League, maybe in the Spanish League, maybe in one of the other leagues. He's not getting a job in the Premier League at a top club. Again, Chelsea's another. He wouldn't get the job at Chelsea. I don't think they would go for another former Tottenham manager after the way the fans react.
There's only one. There's only one, I think. You mentioned this, Ben. Yeah. I don't know if you forgot. You said there's one team that would probably go for Ange, and that's City.
No.
Do you not think so?
It's too old. Too old for that job.
I don't think he is.
I don't know. They would have to change the entire team to play that. I don't think City would go for Ange. I don't think so. But I might be wrong. He might be the manager at City and proving us all wrong in 12 months. You never know.
And win a trophy while we don't.
Yeah. Ange was under more pressure at Celtic at the start, first starting on, but Celtic are expected to win the SPL, aren't they? Them and Rangers are the only two teams in it. They're expected to win it. So, yeah, I think the pressure at Tottenham is higher. I think the pressure at Tottenham is in context.
I've got a question for you, Ben. Yeah, right? Now, obviously, at Celtic, he does have this little bit of pressure where he has to beat Rangers, right?
Yeah.
Do you think when he came to Tottenham, he had this idea that he put to Levy, saying, I want to do this, I want to win this, I want to go for that, I want to do all this?
Yeah.
And then, as always with this club, Levy's idea, because I've always said this, yeah? When it comes to trophies, right, it costs you a lot of money to win a trophy with less return, yeah? So if you look at it as a business, that's a bad business decision. If you get top four, it doesn't cost you a lot of money, but you get a massive return because you get it back in the Champions League and you win money. You get a load of money for it, right?
Correct.
But you have to pay less.
Correct. This is absolutely spot on the money. They're more likely to employ the manager that works in the same group that's doing amazing work at Girona. They're more likely to do that. But we got one more question. We have gone well over.
Well over.
How many points do you think we will get from the first 6 games?
Who are we playing? Let me bring the fixture links up quickly. Sorry. I don't know who we're playing. Right, so the first 6 games, so we got Leicester, Newcastle, Brentford, Brighton, Palace. Is that 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, and then Ipswich.
I think we'll
I'd say we're going to draw. Go on, Ben, you go first. Sorry.
I think we're going to beat Leicester just. I think we'll beat Ipswich. Who are the other teams?
Newcastle, Brentford, Brighton, and Palace.
We'll draw to Newcastle. We'll beat Brentford, and we'll beat Palace. I think.
What about Brighton?
Brighton will beat Brighton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we'll beat Leicester. Yeah. We'll lose Newcastle. We'll draw Brentford. I'd say we're going to lose Brighton, lose Palace, and we'll win Ipswich. So I think it's going to be very mixed at the beginning.
Good stuff. Good to see you, Paddy, as well. We're just ending the show. Could we? Who knows, mate? Who knows? But on that note, guys, it is time to end the show. We will be back later for the evening fan show with Mr. Daigle and Mr. Roadman himself going for the fans. So if you are a membership candidate, please jump on to the community section when they release it. But thank you so much for watching today's show. Have a great rest of your day. Take it away, Mr. Roadman.
Neen Mind.
And if you smell what the cough is brewing, thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Ciao for now.